welcome friends. I'm Larry. I'll be your host on Larry's Fountain Pen Review. So sit back, kick it, pull up a nice chair, soft chair. You're at the computer, in the living room, bedroom, wherever it is. Grab yourself a snack, soda, and let's jam. Okay, vintage time. Okay, so right here in this pen case is the Sheaffer. And as you look at this pen case, it's a nice, thick, bulky pen case. So that looks kind of old. Has the Sheaffer name with the Sheaffer dot, the famous Sheaffer dot. So, and you can tell the case has been around a while. Now, when I bought this pen, it said Rare Vintage Sheaffer Prelude. Okay? Isn't that correct? Okay. So I'll get into that a little bit more later. Let's go ahead and open this up. And there is the Sheaffer Prelude pen. And it has Sheaffer on the back side the pen case. And it sits nice and secure on this nice cushion. So we're going to pull that off. And it does come with the Sheaffer warranty and details how to fill your pen and stuff. And it comes with 2 Sheaffer cartridges. Okay, that's cool. So, and they do have ink in it. Yep.
Those are specifically Sheaffer cartridges?
Those are made for this pen. So, let me tell you what I found out a little bit about it. Then I'm going to open it up and show you more about the pen. Okay, what I found out about the pen, it is showing that it says 1996 Sheaffer Incorporated. So that's about 25 years old. New old stock. Classic Sheaffer pen box, which you saw. Now, the weight of the pen comes at 31.4 G's. And it says has a lifetime warranty with Sheaffer. So when they put out these pens, they also put out the lifetime warranty. So I'll take off this little plastic sleeve so you can see it better. It is a good looking pen, isn't it? A really nice looking pen. So, and the length of the pen closed is 5.23 inches. Posted, it comes in at 5.97 inches. Now, the material, here's where it gets kind of tricky. Resin. But then when I did more research, it said metal. And when I did more research, you can still find these pens as old new stock, and they're selling at $116. That's what I saw. But I got this one at a really, really great deal. So, not complaining about that. So, this is a black matte finish. And it's trimmed in 22 gold-plated trim. And there is that famous Sheaffer dot. So, let's go up the barrel. And there's that Sheaffer dot again on top, or jewel you want to call it. Right there, that's always interesting. I would believe that would be like a little jewel, white jewel there. And nice clip. Really sturdy. And on the band has a nice gold band on it. And it does say Sheaffer USA. And that is all the markings on it. But it is a beautiful matte finish. Let's see how it sounds. Sound like metal? Not really. It could be a different form of some kind of metal. So, it does post securely. So, prelude means an action or event serving as a important
introduction.
Yeah, introduction to something that has a classical design, and we're talking about the pen, with a modern flair So all this is interesting. The section right here is part of the pin as it joins the nib together. Right in here, there's the nib feed. Here's your section right here. On each side of this section, it has indents kind of that when you hold your pin here, they would kind of help your finger stay in place without sliding. And what these remind me kind of is the Lamy. But Lamy is totally different than this grip is. Let me just show you real quick what I'm talking about. The Lamy right here, as you see the grip on the sides, this is why I say it reminds me of the Lamy. They're not as long, no, and they're not as pronounced as the Lamy, but that's what it kind of reminded me of when I first saw it. So, interesting fountain pen it is. So, and I guess they're calling it the pen is equipped with grip pads. So this is what they call this, grip pads, right there. And I found that interesting. Now, on the nib size, you can locate that right here underneath on the grip. As you see that M, get a good close look at that. Right there is the M, okay? And there's the feed. And let's look at the nib a little bit here. It does have Sheaffer. I like the little scroll work on it. Nice looking pen.
Angle it this way a bit so we can see
This
that.
way. Okay, here we go. Can you see it? Let me do it like this. That might help some. Okay. And so they're saying equipped with this grip pad that just makes the nib go across the page effortlessly. So I haven't written with a pen yet, so I'm expecting big things from it. So, and it comes in an array of styles and finishes. So that's cool too. To help you find the style that meets your need, from a jeweler store in Fort Madison, Iowa, I found that interesting as well. Of course, as we all know, they're all closed down, right? Right. So the ease of transition of a move, just learning to use a fountain pen. So what they were saying is the transition from a novice beginner learning how to use a fountain pen, this would be a nice step up. I do find it interesting. Really, there's not much else in the cap. Let's take the barrel off, and it does come with a converter. And it's a pull-out converter. This converter is made specially for the Sheaffer. Nice looking converter. Brand new. So I'm kind of thinking new old stock here, but still at a pretty good fair price still for the pen. So what I think I'll do next is I was debating on using those cartridges. I really wasn't sure. But let me think on that. But the Sheaffer clip has really, it does have a nice spring to it. It is kind of tight, but it does have a nice spring to it. And again, this is the jewel on top of the cap. I would call it a dot, blah, 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 but it is a jewel on the top, they call it. So I know that. And again, the grip that I was talking about here has that texture on both sides of the grip. Again, that helps you can place your fingers on it, and it helps from sliding. And the pen comes in a medium or a broad nib. And the cap has a nice clip, bam, to it, so you can hear it just, and it's in there securely. But it does turn around when you do it as such, but it's not going to come off. So, but it is secured. So, it has some nice weight to the pen. So, Mr. Announcer, what do you think? Should we use the cartridges, or should I use some ink, different bottle ink?
Why don't you change it up and use a cartridge?
All right, we're going to do that. And let's see what this cartridge says. Sheaffer script cartridge jet black. Oh, cool. I have yet to use a Sheaffer black ink, so this may just work out just fine. So let's go ahead and do this. And we'll take off the converter. Now, really doesn't make any difference what side you put in first. We're just going to pop that little jewel. Right in there. Finally, you hear that little pop? And that was a little booger to get in there. It was. God, look how much ink it's already on. Huh. I guess it must have evaporated or something because it's been so long. So, sitting on a shelf maybe. And I'm just guessing. So, now, let's put everything aside. And let's see how this little jewel writes. So here we go. It does post. There we go. So, and here we go with the pen. Will it write or not? Let's see. Yes. I'm impressed with it. Now, the nib has a wider width on it, so I kind of like that. It does write really nice. I'm impressed. And I can see why they mentioned that when you're writing with this pen with hardly any effort at all, it just sails across the paper, because the nib is really a nice medium nib that has some width on it. That's sweet and wet. Now I want to find me some Sheaffer jet black ink. I do like the ink. All right. And I tell you what, when I put that cartridge into the nib unit there, that ink just instantly took off, and the pen effortlessly started writing. Nice ink flow, nice smooth nib. The grip feels nice and comfortable. Let's try reverse writing. You can get some, but it can be annoying, so I'm not going to even try to do it. But you can get a different line variation. You just have to be careful how much pressure you put down on that nib. So I am going to stop there with that. So wet test, as you just saw, we'll do it again. It's going to be wet. I can tell you right now, bam, it has some witness to it. So, this is a cool pen. I like the way it looks. I like the way the pen handles. I love the clip on the pen. The nib, smooth, has a bit of wetness to it, a real nice nib. I do like the color of the Sheaffer ink, the jet black. So all in all, it's a good find. Would you call this a rare pen or not? That was my only thing that I was questioning up, because like I said, I found them, on eBay, and I was surprised at the price that they were asking. I just saw one pen shop, I forgot the name of it, that was selling for $116. Maybe you can find it cheaper than that, I'm not sure, but like I said, I got a great deal on it. I couldn't say no. Great fountain pen, one of my favorite brands of pens, Sheaffer. For me, can't go wrong with it. Add this to my Sheaffer collection. Can't beat that with a stick. So folks, thank you for joining me today on Larry's Review. I've had a blast really doing this pen, but the blast is looking up the history on any fountain pen, especially when you're dealing with vintage. How far does it go back? The creator. How long did it last? Why did it go out? What happened to it? But anyway, that'll do it. That's enough for now. Until my next review, God bless each and every one of you. Stay healthy, wash your hands, and as always, don't text and drive. Bye-bye.